Hello and welcome to another brand new episode of Generation. Today we are going to meet up with a hardworking young Mongolian woman passionate about the media sector, Aminaa Unenbat. She graduated from the University of the Humanities with a bachelor's degree in international relations and is now a professional translator. She dreams of promoting and developing the Mongolian media sector. She works as a fact-checker and translator at the Mongolian Fact-Checking Center.
Hello everyone! Thank you for having me at Generation by MNB World, and I'm really happy to introduce my just one day in my life. My name is Aminaa Unenbat and I work as a fact checker at the Mongolian Fact-Checking Center. And let's just see how my day goes, just a typical day goes.
This morning, we find Aminaa at work in Ulaanbaatar. Please tell us about your morning routine.
My typical day starts me coming at the office, and we have this coffee machine, and I sometimes brew some coffee for my colleagues. I also write down some to-do list on my notebook. It's actually easier for me to see what needs to be done, and I can check on my notebook. It's like more kind of analog.
Can you introduce the Nest Center for Journalism Innovation and Development and the Mongolian Fact-Checking Center to our viewers?
So there are 5 companies we work, and I work at the Nest Center for Journalism Innovation and Development, and under that center there is the Mongolian Fact-Checking Center, which I work at. And also there is a PR and social marketing company named Mirius Agency, and Nest Publishing as well. Also Uzuk, it is a platform for freelance journalists and for like resources and everything. We're aiming to centralize journalists and the sources and the readers at this platform. And if the article is good, the author can be paid well. It works like that.
The very first thing she does at work is to get updated on the latest news of the day and check whether there are any misleading narratives on social media. She works on fact-checking, research, translation, and writing emails in English to stop the spread of disinformation. Sometimes it's exhausting because she spends so much time sitting behind the desk and staring at a computer. She will take a walk around the office to feel refreshed. About how many people do you work with?
Our team consists of fewer than 10 people, kind of a small team, but it makes it easier for us to communicate with each other and make work done. And on fact-checking, there are currently 3 full-time workers, and also there are some volunteer fact-checkers who fact-check news as a paid work.
What responsibilities do you have as a translator and fact-checker for the Mongolian Fact-Checking Center?
Currently, we're working on the fact-checking more because we just became official partner of Meta, and that means we have to. So yeah, I'm focusing on fact-checking more other than translating.
The Nest Center for Journalism Innovation and Development works with media organizations and entrepreneurs to promote information rights through sustainable business models. The Mongolian Fact-Checking Center was established by the Nest Center to take proactive and reactive approaches to combating disinformation, promoting media literacy, and increasing the public's trust in professional media. It is the first organization in Central Asia to operate as an official signatory of the International Fact-Checking Network. The center has been selected as Meta's official partner in Mongolia to reduce the spread of false and misleading information on the Facebook platform. It works as a global mentor to advise the international fact-checking community on product and user-centric thinking. What part of your work excites you the most?
The most interesting part about fact-checking is that you find some facts you didn't know that was true, and then you really want to share them with public. For example, I did this fact check on Simpsons. Many people think that Simpsons cartoon, tells the future, and yeah, I checked on that and found that it was actually false, and people were just editing the original footage and then putting some dates or ballistic, some rockets in it, and just acting like the cartoon was actually telling about the future. And I was really happy when I finished that fact check. Maybe it seems simple, but sometimes we don't notice that things around us, like some heartbreaking story or just that thing that can be unharmful, is actually fake.
She is highly productive when her to-do list for the day is ready, and she understands the importance of every small task. A good day can also depend on good weather or nice food. What is on your schedule today?
Today's schedule for me is to first thing of my schedule for today is to attend the press conference we were planning to do. It's about Mongolian Fact-Checking Center and MITA's collaboration on fact-checking. And also I have an online meeting, which is fact-checking in 2022. It's organized by Taiwan Fact-Checking Center and Open Source Intelligence as well. And I'm also planning to practice my language as usual, maybe at some coffee shop. So stay with me during my typical day.
Today's work at the office is finished. Now she will go to the Press Institute of Mongolia, where the Mongolian Fact-Checking Center will hold a press conference about cooperating with Meta. Meta announced that it will cooperate with the Mongolian Fact-Checking Center to verify information distributed on social media networks. The press conference will be held at the Press Institute of Mongolia. What is the goal of today's press conference?
We held a press conference on Meta and Mongolian Fact-Checking Center partnership. As a third-party fact-checking center, Mongolian Fact-Checking Center will be able to remove some news that are harmful and that violates Facebook community standards. And we can also make them reach fewer people instead of deleting. And our fact-checked article will be shown to the public instead of the fake news. And they will be able to know that the news was maybe disinformation or misinformation, and can click on our fact-checked article on our website, and they can read and know why the news was removed or labeled as fake news.
What sector are you most interested in?
Actually, my major is international relations and translator, and it has nothing to do with media sector maybe. But I started working at the Official Gazette or Tsigayem daily newspaper when I was a sophomore at a university. And I used to write daily news about Mongolian economy, politics, and society in English. We had this English paper or English page on our newspaper, and I was in charge of that. And from that time, I got interested in media sector and want to know more about it and maybe further to develop the sector in Mongolia.
Do you have any writing experience?
One of my hobbies is actually writing, maybe on my own, just kind of blogging on Medium or something, and writing poems, something like that. But I never saw myself as a journalist until I worked in newspaper. I was mainly a translator, but writing was always been part of myself. when I was a child, I used to write diaries and some other things.
The Mongolian Fact-Checking Center is the first and only Mongolian fact-finding organization that meets the official certification requirements of the Pointer Institutes in the National Fact-Checking Network in the United States. The center officially opened on June 7th and became a document-checking partner to verify the authenticity of information on Facebook and Instagram. Through the center's assessment, information will be categorized as false, misleading, doubtful, or incomplete. What is the most beneficial and challenging thing you have learned from working as a fact-checker?
I think it's the fact-checking. Sometimes not the whole, there's some cases, like some fact checks I've worked on that took many times, maybe days, or like some sources we reached that they cannot maybe they took too long to reply to us to confirm some information, and sometimes we cannot find the needed research or like some information we needed, and that takes so much time, and that can be challenging sometimes.
Our next destination is a coffee shop. She spends time learning new languages and practicing there. It's really satisfying when your persistence pays off. She felt that satisfaction after completing a 1-year streak of learning foreign languages on Duolingo. She spent a year practicing new languages for at least 15 minutes a day. What is your main hobby?
안녕하세요. 제 이름은 에미나입니다. 저는 다른 언어를 배우는 것을 너무 좋아합니다. I just introduced myself in Korean and said that one of my hobbies is kind of learning foreign language, and I can only speak at an intermediate level in Korean. And about Japanese, I can have some basic conversations with a Japanese person or someone who knows Japanese. I'm still working on my writing and reading skills. Now I can say konnichiwa, watashi no namae wa Aminaa desu. Watashi wa ima 23 歳です. I also introduced myself in Japanese and said that I'm 23 years old. Yeah, the reason why I'm so into learning foreign languages is that it's not just about the language, but also the people and culture, and I get to learn and understand more about the world, some kind of thing. And other than Korean and Japanese, I'm also learning Spanish and French. It's been almost a year since I started learning Spanish by myself on an application named Duolingo. It's pretty helpful if you know English and want to practice some other language.
What is your unique method for learning a new language?
When I was at 10th grade at high school, my English wasn't that good, and I started watching movies and writing down those sentences from the movie. And then I used to read those sentences, maybe read out loud those sentences, and then kind of memorize the sentence. Because we don't speak with words, even in Mongolian, so it's better to learn the whole sentence when you are learning a foreign language. That's my method to learn a language. Also, it depends on the person's kind of learning, different learning skills, or some people listen to a conversation or a thing and memorize it well, while some people just read it and then they kind of understand more about the context, and some people practice it and do the thing by themselves and they learn well. So it depends on different people and different kind of learning. Yeah.
She was proud of herself because most people give up on learning new languages and some even forget to notice the small progress they make. Now she's on a 440-day language learning streak with the goal of reaching 1,000 days. Do you have a role model?
My role model in terms of learning a language is Yenja. She's Mongolian, but I see her as a world citizen. She speaks more than 5 languages, and she's also world memory champion. If you have seen the documentary on Netflix, it's about the memory techniques and like people who like practice these memory techniques. And Yenja was also in that documentary, as well as documentary is named Memory Games. And other than Yenja, there were some memory champions from Mongolia were like in that documentary, as well as Hatambatar. You guys already know about him. He founded the Mongolian Intellectual Academy, and many of Mongolian champions like have successfully attended international contests of memory, and I'm really proud of them as well.
After a long day, it's finally time to head to the darts club. Many people have a favorite way to relax after a long, stressful day. Aminaa likes to go to the darts club whenever she has some free time. Why do you like darts?
I'm interested in sports that aims at some points, such as darts or like archery or something. But I have never practiced archery though. About darts, I first found about it and started practicing it when I first competed in a competition among journalists. It was for opening of the Tokyo Olymp Foundation, and then I accidentally won second place, and then wanted to know more about darts and started practicing it when I have free time, and it allows people to maybe have really some concentrate on things, and if we like compete with their like teammates, like by team, it also makes people more like improves their people's like teamworking skills maybe. Yeah.
What is it about darts that energizes you?
If I manage to hit the point I was aiming at, that just makes me feel accomplished, and that's kind of energizes me when I practice it.
How do you see yourself in the future? What is the main thing you would like to achieve over the next 10 years?
In 10 years, I see myself as highly skilled in more than 5 languages, and has a knowledge about international relations, and which is my major, and also linguistics. This is one of my aspirations other than the sector I'm working in. I want to gain more experience in translating maybe a book or translating diplomatic forums, that kind of things, to like develop myself more in that kind of field, as well as practicing previously mentioned hobbies, and mastering them well.
Well, this is where this episode of Generation comes to an end. Today we had the chance to meet a young woman who is interested in the media and learning languages. Our guest taught us how important it is to be committed and not give up. Thank you for being with us. We'll see you again in another 2 weeks.